Hey there, everybody. It's me,
Tammy,
and
me,
Cathy.
How about that?
So we are coming to you live from San Diego, California.
That's right. It's probably warmer where you are than where we are today.
There's that possibility for you today. So we are actually here with the Alzheimer's Foundation of America, Educating America tour. And this is the kickoff
tour date today in San Diego.
It's the kickoff tour date. And we have to present in about an hour. And obviously we're having some trouble stumbling over words.
We haven't eaten our lunch yet.
Right now.
Be patient with us. In this part of the world, it's only noon. So we're just catching up to our lunch. For the rest of you, it's much later. You're probably eating dinner right now. or perhaps you're preparing for your nap. But anyway,
yes.
Let's dive into this for just a minute.
Okay, what are we diving into?
We're diving into the fact that we have dedicated February to Dementia 101 month.
Yes.
Right? And so that's why you've tuned in, not only to see our gorgeous faces and to hear our lovely, humorous voices. Yes, exactly. But to learn a little bit more about Dementia 101, because I feel like people want some of that. They've asked for it. So we've gotten some various questions regarding different words that really fall under that umbrella of behaviors. Yeah, we don't like that word at all.
Behaviors. Yes, and we hear this a lot. You know, what about behaviors? How do we handle behaviors? What's a behavior?
How do I extinguish a behavior?
Ooh, extinguish.
Yeah, that's not a word I like, except for when you have a fire. It's the only time I want to use
exactly.
that word.
Exactly. Seriously.
This isn't a fire, people.
This is not a fire.
These are people. We don't need to extinguish anything, except if they're on fire.
And I want to underscore this word that she just used. She used this word people. Yes. And the reason I underscore this is that the first thing that we consistently need to do in regards to dementia care is remember that someone with dementia is a person.
Yes.
And we'll talk about that later, but I think we need to understand and really look at these are human beings.
Yes.
Not a person, dementia person, that dementia patient.
No.
They're human beings.
Right.
And I want you to consistently work through all of this with that lens on. So put on these glasses that everybody that we're ever working with is a human being.
That's right. I mean, oftentimes I think we even see people treating their animals better than they treat someone who is living with a dementia of some sort. Absolutely. And that's unfortunate because whenever we look at an animal and we see something that they've done, we typically will backtrack and go, oh, it might have been because I gave him food from the table. Oh, it might have been because I left him in that room too long. We are so willing and able to look at how our behaviors have affected another. And we do that really well with our own dogs and our own cats and our own pets.
Right.
But when it comes to someone that's living with dementia, we don't do that as well. I will take my turn and hold
No, I'm fine. It was the wing
fine.
was...
She's fine.
Well,
here we go.
Maybe I'm not fine.
It's California. So. It could be an earthquake. We just don't know.
Hey, Carolyn, how are you?
So, we don't use the word behaviors at all.
No, we don't.
We use it to tell you what we're talking about, and then we get rid of. We extinguish
the word behaviors,
and we call them reasonable reactions.
Correct.
Because if a dog throws up on your rug, this is a reasonable reaction to probably something you did or something he ate.
Right. Exactly. He ate that weird flower out in the garden, and he threw up.
Right.
Reasonable
Grandpa
reaction.
came over and gave him a half of a rib sandwich.
Reasonable reaction.
The vomit on the floor.
Yes.
Not that hard. It's not a mystery.
Right.
But yet we see this common in facilities and communities. This word behavior and these terms that fall under that word are like these mysterious things that happen that we can't quite possibly understand.
Well, and the other thing that the word behavior does, because oftentimes we think of a child, they have a behavior, then we have to discipline that behavior,
exactly.
Right? So the term behavior becomes this really negative word and connotation. So then we look at it negatively, right?
Absolutely.
And that's unacceptable to me. That is absolutely unacceptable.
Yeah, language shapes how we feel. And the words that we choose, and when the words we choose to speak, can shape how we feel about a specific person that we're using them towards.
Absolutely. So we really need to look at what we have termed in the past as behaviors as actually reasonable reactions. Right. Was it reasonable for someone to react in this way because of maybe something I did, something I said, something that I didn't even think about, maybe?
Exactly. Right. And this comes into play not only in things that we see in the moment, but also in things that we look back at So an example of this would be, I had a woman who I worked with in a facility, and she loved to go through her roommate's closet. And we had to write a beautiful care plan called rummaging, where she would try on her roommate's clothes, and it really bothered the staff, and it really bothered the family of the roommate. And come to find out, when we dug deeper in, what we found out is that this particular woman, I'll call her Rose for lack of a better term, lived with 3 other sisters in a single room for many, many years of her life, shared a closet, shared clothes. Makes sense now.
Reasonable reaction.
Exactly.
So what she was doing was not malicious.
Not at all.
Wasn't trying to be mean. Wasn't a horrible resident.
Nope.
It was a reasonable reaction from her past.
Exactly.
So it's so important for us to also look at the past of someone, because then that's going to also help us with these concepts of reasonable reactions. Okay. There was I read a story about a gentleman that in a community that he was living in, they termed him, he was the escape artist. He was the one that was always exit seeking, all of those fun terms. And what happened, what they finally learned, is that where this community was on a farm. So there's farms all around, right?
Right.
He was a farmer.
Yeah.
So when he was trying to escape at 5 o'clock in the morning, it wasn't that he wanted to escape.
He wanted to milk the cows.
He was going to do the stuff that farmers do. I don't know what they do,
in the morning,
but that's what
which
they
do. Very
right.
early. You should have
Right.
been a farmer. You're up that early.
Yeah,
I think you were a farmer in your past life. She was.
I was not.
Okay.
I was not.
Well, you're an early riser.
I am an early riser.
She's an early riser.
But 5 o'clock and him wanting to leave made sense.
Yes.
It was a reasonable reaction because he wanted to go out, milk the cows, shuck the corn. I don't think you do that as a farmer, but
I think you need a little more light for that. But
you
that's
you guys can figure that out.
Get the eggs for breakfast, whatever the case may be. And so
Absolutely.
Every time we really ask these kinds of questions, and there's a couple things. When you're getting ready to say this is a behavior, yes, his name was Old McDonald. Thank you, Allison.
Number one, are we looking at it through a lens that's our agenda? Is it not matching what we expect? Is it not matching what we want to have happen? So are we looking at it through our lens, our agendas?
Absolutely.
Number two, have we learned enough about the person we're taking care of? Do we know enough about their past? What drives them? What gives them passion? What gives them value? This farmer, Old McDonald's purpose was to make sure all of the chores were done before the rooster crowed in the morning and woke up his family.
Right.
So we'll have to look at it in these ways. And what we've done is we've devised a tool for you to go and get. It's a free download. It's called My Soul Purpose. This will help you excavate out what other people, what they value themselves. And then you can start to look at the reasonable reactions as just that.
Yes. Whew.
I had some tea today.
She did.
Can you tell?
Asking questions is key. Allison, beautiful.
Be interested. Become interested.
Become interested.
Why do you have this job? You all are in caregiving. Think about it. It's job security, but if you don't do it well, you're not going to be happy and you're going to burn out.
Yes.
Find passion in what you do.
Yes.
Be excited about the fact that you can learn about other people and put something else in place.
I know.
You don't have to write these lengthy care plans anymore.
Right.
You can say something is a reasonable reaction. We can talk to the staff and our family. We can move on.
Absolutely. Okay. So that's it for now. We have to go and eat a little bit before we go on stage.
We do.
But we want to thank all of you for being here. So Allison, Rosemary, Carolyn, it was great seeing you guys here and everybody else that is watching, and hopefully we'll watch later.
Yes.
So
it would be what time? They have to do the math.
What are you wanting the time
if you would
for?
like to see
tell me.
us
I missed
today,
some.
I'll
Oh,
tell
yes.
her.
There we go. Thank you.
Yes, they
I'm
are
on target
live
now.
streaming on the AFA website.
Nope. On the AFA Facebook page.
That's it.
So the Alzheimer's Foundation of America Facebook page, they are live streaming this conference today.
Yeah.
So you can see every single thing that's happening. So we are live here at 1:30 Pacific time. So whatever time zone is that you are in, you figure that out. Go online. They've got some really great options for you to figure that out.
I have not yet used one. I just tried to do the math in my head and get it all wrong.
So 1:30 Pacific, that would be 12:30
Mountain.
No, I did it wrong. So anyway, it would be 2:30.
3:30 where we live, Midwest, 3:30. If you're on the East Coast, 4:30.
And you know what? They're running fast, so you might want to get on a little bit early anyway.
Yeah,
So
do that.
So we're gonna go eat something. We're gonna go stretch a little bit. You know, we got a
Power stance. That whole
power
thing.
stance, all of that kind of stuff. So we will talk to you guys later. You guys have a great day and
Bye-bye.
peace out.